Hello everybody, thank you for being here. Happy Sunday. Here we are as always, except for last week. So last Sunday we were not here. Once in a while that happens, things come up, right? So last week I was on my way back from the spiritual renewal retreat that I went to. I had mentioned that for the last couple weeks, and it was absolutely amazing. It was, I don't, I had some sort of idea of, like what I was thinking or wondering that I might get out of it, but I went into it just completely open-minded. I have never been to any sort of overnight retreat before. I've never even actually been to like a day retreat of any kind. So this was a totally new experience for me. And I was just open to whatever was going to come about. And it was better than I could have ever imagined. So I appreciate and thank you all for allowing me last Sunday off. It just gave me more time to get centered and grounded when I got back home and just process everything that happened throughout the retreat. And it's going to sound really simple and really, really basic, but what just kept coming back was stillness, silence, and just coming back to self, back to my own self, and just really connecting with my own being and connecting with my own self and my own being, connecting to that greater energy that is around all of us, that universal energy that ultimately gets us back to source. So it reminded me of the pathway of connection, how it comes through ourselves from inside, not necessarily from external sources. There might be something external that kind of like prompts it, but it comes from within us, and then how that connects us to that greater energy, God, universe, source, consciousness, whatever it is that you want to call it. So I did want to give a little shout out to David, who does the retreats, just because it was so wonderful. So I know a lot of people that listen to this are in the Midwest area. I'm in Michigan. The retreats are in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. It's Garden, Michigan. So if anybody around this area is interested in these retreats, they happen twice a year, like spring and fall. So I think the next one is maybe in June. But I just wanted to give out his information in case anybody was interested in looking into the retreat. So David Sandercott is who does the retreats. And you can just find him on social media, on Facebook, or on his website, which I believe is davidsandercott.com, or if you Google his name, you'll find it. But this is his book. This is his 21-day meditation journey. So I just wanted to share this here before I get started. So yeah, this is the book by David Sandercott, who runs the spiritual retreat. It was very down to earth, very grounded, very opening, just very wide open, very well guided, and gosh, there's so many things that I want to say about the retreat, but I don't want to take up too much time here either. So I will just say that it was absolutely wonderful and absolutely eye-opening. Lots of hours of meditation. The place where he holds them are absolutely lovely, wonderful. They have great food. There is great spaces for getting together in between the meditations, and there is a variety of meditations within the retreat. So just wanted to give a shout out to that. It was absolutely wonderful. He gives you this, there's like a booklet that goes with all of the meditations, and there's places to write down information and things that come up for all the different meditations, and it's all specified in there. So I just wanted to give a shout out to that before moving along. So yeah, thank you. It was absolutely great. And it's just helped me slow a little bit. So I'm hoping to bring that into the meditation. Anybody that has been participating in these meditations since we've been doing them, which is a little over 2 years now, hopefully you have seen the change and the progress and the growth of just the meditation itself. So like historically myself, I am not somebody that have not in the past been somebody that it's very easy for me to like talk to people, open up to people one-on-one, let alone in a group public setting. So that's always been something that's been difficult for me on many different levels, but it's something that I've been working through and working with. lately my focus has been on just kind of slowing down. So I feel like I've gotten a little better at giving the information, but I know that sometimes I still talk really, really quickly, and like blank space and dead space, dead silence, that's not something that, just being honest here, that I've like historically been very comfortable with. So that is something that I've been kind of working on, and that is something that I feel I have kind of attuned to a little bit through the retreat. So hopefully my goal is to just be a little slower, a little calmer, and hopefully that allows, I don't know, allows something good and wonderful. So hi everybody in the comments. I appreciate all of you here, and let's get right into it. Let's get our intention up here if you haven't seen it already. Intentions are always released ahead of time. I've been releasing them on Saturday since we've been doing meditations on Sunday. And I just want to give you a little time to sit with the intention before we meet here together. So hopefully you get lots of good things from what we talk about here before the meditation and during the meditation. But there's also really good things that you can get just from the intention yourself and just what comes to mind when you think of the intention. And what feelings are invoked when you hear the words, see the words, read the words out loud, what thoughts does it bring up, how does it make you feel, all of these different things. So I always think it's good to just take a peek at it, even if it's not that you like sit with it for a long period of time, even if it's just a couple minutes before, just seeing what comes up within the intention yourself. So this week, there is space for full expression. There is space for full expression. And I wonder how that makes you feel. I wonder if that makes you excited. I wonder if that makes you a little bit anxious. I wonder if that makes you a little bit of both. Since there's full expression and there's a wide variety here, you know, either is possible, both is possible. So accepting all of the things in this week here. So there's the intention. Sit with that for just a moment, and then we'll talk about the things that we have coming up this week. So the sun has entered Scorpio since the last time we've talked. So happy birthday to all of you Scorpio suns that are out there, and special focus on any Scorpio placements that we have. The sun is moving through that sign of Scorpio in that house that Scorpio is in. So there's an illumination of whatever house, whatever topics apply to the house where Scorpio is within your own chart. And if you have any placements, take a peek at when the sun will be kind of going by those for a little bit of insight there. All right, so there is a wide range, and this is where I get the full expression from this week, of aspects. So the week starts off very different than the week ends, from the way that I'm looking at it. So the first aspect that we have this week is Venus coming into a square with Saturn. Venus is in the superior position, so she is looking towards Saturn, talking to Saturn, has something to say to Saturn. Saturn is going to answer back to Venus. It's kind of like that. The planet that is in the superior position where Venus is right now is the one that has a little bit more say, a little bit more agency in the aspect. So this is coming through Sunday into Monday. So if you're watching this live with us, it's definitely in the air right now. You may be feeling it through this past weekend into the beginning part of this week. And anytime we have Saturn, we're going to talk about Saturn a little bit this week, but anytime we have Saturn, Saturn is slow and steady, okay? Saturn is not going to rush anything. Saturn wants to make sure that you look at all aspects of whatever the thing is that is in focus, okay? So when we have Venus squaring Saturn, there's something Venusian that is going on that Saturn is speaking to. So the things that bring us harmony, the things that bring us desire, love, harmony, peace, women, children, sisters, all of these type of Venusian things, all of those wonderful, lovely things is taking a peek at Saturn. Saturn who doesn't want us to miss anything. Saturn who can be a little bit somber, and there is a level of implied maturity or wisdom. There's some sort of, you know, slowing down and being sure that we are not missing anything. This like old age, wisdom type mentality that we get with Saturn. This comes from this expression of slowing down, making sure we're not missing anything. If you think about like a young child and then like an elderly grandmother, right? So like that grandmother has had all of these experiences, has went through lots of things, and knows that you can't just run into things all lollygag, whatever, and just see what happens. So Saturn being a slow planet that makes us see everything, all the different pieces, make sure the foundation is solid and firm, is speaking with Venus. So there is something about what we desire that we need to look at some aspects that may not be the easiest to look at. We may miss these little things. There may be something that we don't see fully, and Saturn is asking us to see the thing fully so that way we can progress with whatever the Venusian thing is that we are trying to progress. So Venus coming into the square with Saturn is wherever we're trying to bring some sort of harmony, wherever we're trying to bring some sort of peace and cohesion within our life, in a Sagittarian type way, because that's where Venus is right now. There is some other maybe difficult aspect that we need to kind of look at, okay? There is some sort of seriousness, there is some sort of like dialed in focus on specific details or specific aspects of something that, you know, like maybe we're making really good progress. Venus in the sign of Sagittarius is very forward thinking and very much wanting to go forward with the next thing. But Saturn in the sign of Pisces is telling us, coming into the square aspect, that, okay, yes, you can move forward, but you need to make sure you look at this other piece and this other thing. Being that Saturn is in Pisces in a water sign, the collective water sign, it could be that we are not, it could be some sort of emotional or connective tissue type situation. So it could be like, how are you, like, how does this Venusian thing that you are going forward with, how does that relate to others? How does that fit in within the emotionality of it all? Is there some other aspect that deals with somebody else that we need to take a peek at? But there's something that is kind of slowing us down a little bit this week. It may be showing us just to kind of take our time with where Venus is showing up in our lives right now. So where you want that harmony and that desire, Venus and Sag wants to move kind of quickly, in like in a fiery way. It's a fire sign. But Saturn is telling us to slow down and take things a little bit easy. So Saturn is not going to allow us to miss the small things, you know, maybe showing us where any little mishaps may be. And at this time, we have the moon in the sign of Virgo, which is a little bit more reserved itself. So this is a Venus aspect this week where things are telling us to kind of slow down, make sure you're looking at all sides of things. There may be a little work that needs to be done. There may be something that you need to pay attention to and take care of this week. But with Venus being in the more superior position, it feels more like Venus is able to be helped by Saturn rather than held down by Saturn. So wherever we're prompted to kind of slow down and give a little bit of extra care, I would follow those prompts this week. So this week starts out kind of slow with this Venus Saturn square, but then that does quickly change. So taking the deep breaths at the beginning of this week, throughout this weekend, if there's been anything that seems like it's a little bit hard and a little bit difficult to find that Venusian balance, it may be because Saturn is trying to show us some other little spark or some other little thing that we have not fully noticed or recognized or delved into or dealt with in some way. So we start off with this square here between Venus and Saturn, and then by Wednesday, Mercury moves into an opposition with Uranus. So if Venus and Saturn are talking together and they are taking a good hard look at where we want harmony, where we want to bring peace, the things that we love, the things that we desire, wherever Venus is showing up for you right now. I try to keep this pretty broad because Venus can be showing up in lots of different areas for different people right now. If we start out with this maybe a little bit more limited space, but a space where we slow down to be focused and not moving quite so much, Mercury comes into the opposition with Uranus, and then we start to reach beyond the box that we're in. We reach beyond the space of where we've slowed down. So Mercury, the planet of our mind, our thoughts, perception, communication, the resources that come to us, coming into an opposition, that polarizing effect with Uranus, the planet of breakthroughs, the planet of rebellion, revolution, instant changes. So Mercury is a planet that moves quickly. Uranus is a planet that likes to change things quickly. So it was where this week starts off feeling very slow and deliberate, like making sure we do all the little things to bring harmony and balance. For me, even today, I noticed that I got all of the normal Sunday tasks done that get me set up really well for the week. So it felt like I spent a lot of time just paying attention to those Saturnine foundations and structures that are in place to make sure everything flows well. So like now tomorrow morning when I get up and some other subsequent mornings this week, there won't be quite as much to do, or even like maybe tomorrow night. Like I've taken care of a few things, so tomorrow after I get home from work, there might not be quite so many tasks to do. It'll set me up for a little bit more balanced and peacefulness. So kind of just a little example there. It could be something bigger and a little bit more like dealing, relational things coming up, which could feel a little bit bigger. But just looking at all of those details, and that's going to allow us, coming into the middle of this week, that's going to allow us to break through certain barriers, okay? So mentally reaching beyond wherever we've been. So if we've been stuck or limited, Mercury and Uranus coming together in this opposition is going to make us want to step beyond something, reach for something different, reach beyond where we've been. The opposition has that polarizing, so it's that push and pull factor, kind of like the magnets we've talked about in the past. So it could be that we feel pinned down and we feel the need to break through from something, or it could be that we are able to break through from something. I'm thinking if we go with the slowing, noticing things early in the week, then we're kind of like revving up to the middle of the week where we are able to go forward and like break through whatever barrier, whatever has been kind of holding us back, wherever it feels like you haven't been able to find that balance, harmony, and move forward with whatever it is that you desire. So that's Wednesday, and then Thursday the moon moves into the sign of Scorpio. That's going to set us up for our Scorpio new moon that we have coming through Friday morning. So we're revving up the week. We start out kind of slow. We start to move forward by Wednesday where, Mercury is going to be in the applying phase throughout the beginning of the week too. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday to Wednesday, coming into this like engines kind of revving up a little bit energy, and then and then the Scorpio new moon. Scorpio new moon is Friday morning. Here where I am, it's 8:47 a.m. Eastern time. That will vary depending on your time zone, or even if you're just a little ways away from me, it may be a few minutes different. But just before 9 in the morning Eastern time is when the new moon goes exact on Friday. So we're in that applying aspect to it all of this week. Thursday afternoon, evening into Friday morning is when we have the moon in Scorpio, so that's going to be the like strongest of the applying. It'll be like Thursday night into Friday morning. So Scorpio new moon at 9 degrees, okay? Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. So Scorpio gets the qualifications and the descriptions of all the planets that we get come from the quality of light within that season, within that time of year, okay? We've talked about this before extensively, so I'm not going to go into it too deep today, but Scorpio in the Northern Hemisphere, or if you think about it just symbolically as the seasons come throughout the zodiac, Scorpio falls within the season of fall, within the autumn time, okay? So Scorpio is the time of the year where light is lessening, darkness is increasing at its strongest. So we have the light is quickly disappearing, the dark is quickly coming in. So you have this being within the dark, being within the shadows aspect of Scorpio. And there's a lot of talk of Scorpio being like secretive, being suspicious, being untrusting, sometimes untrustworthy. They can be a little bit shifty sometimes. There is a big focus on the dark and the shadows within Scorpio, but I don't think This is coming from a Scorpio rising too, okay? So I have some Scorpio energy in my chart. Pretty strong, I guess, on the ascendant. So, you know, Scorpio isn't a sign that like wants to ignore the light. It's not that they just want to focus on all of the bad things, but it's also not a sign that wants to ignore the things that are in the shadows. It does not want to keep things hidden. It likes to spend space in those dark realms, whatever that means to you. You know, just those kind of unspoken things, the things that we don't talk about, the things that some people kind of push away a little bit. But we want to enjoy and see all of it when we're in Scorpio, okay? So we want to enjoy the light, but we also want to be able to explore all of the darkness. I feel like within Scorpio, when Scorpio is allowed to be within that dark water and be within the shadows and explore the dark things, then that light is much more enjoyable and much more bright when it comes. So like, think about when you're like in a really dark space, like if you were in like a cave or like you put your head under the blankets, like under a pillow, maybe outside where it's really, really bright and sunny. So like if you put your head underneath that pillow, you're in the cave, you know, like eventually your eyes kind of adjust to the darkness and you're able to navigate through that dark space that you're in. But then once you come back into the sunshine, like that light feels so bright. It feels so bright and so invigorating. And you can't always acknowledge and recognize like and feel that lightness unless you take a moment to step away into the darkness. So we have this new seeding point within the darkness, within Scorpio. So it's not necessarily that it's not that Scorpio is bad. It's not that Scorpio only wants to focus on the bad or the negative things. Scorpio wants that full expression. Scorpio wants to explore the darkness before it comes back into the light. You know, it's in the time of the year where we are slipping deeply into the shadows. We have Halloween. We have Samhain, we have lots of other holidays too, and things around this time of year that and celebrations of reaching into dark spaces, reaching over barriers. And that's what we have a new moon stepping into this energy. So where can you look into something new this week that maybe has been unseen, maybe something that is a little bit deeper? Where can we step into that deep darkness so that way when we do step back into the light, we can fully acknowledge and express that light? It can be hard to fully express that light when there's other things that are hanging out within the depths that have not necessarily been dealt with in some way. This new moon is going to be trining Saturn within a 3-degree applying aspect. So bringing in that slowness, making sure that looking at everything and not forgetting anything, that's part of that full expression that we have going on this week, I feel like. So yeah, new moon coming through Friday, Scorpio. So that means that now we are coming into this, the waning moon into the balsamic, into the dark moon. So things are falling away. Things are letting go this week as we move towards the new moon. And then we have the seeding point of initiation on Thursday in Scorpio. So new moon, new starts. New moon, new starts on the tails of other things, ending, other things completing because of the aspects that we have going on that are surrounding it. So far we have this focus on broadness, looking at everything, Saturn slowing us down in the beginning of the week and through the new moon too, which is going to tone the entire lunar cycle that we have coming up. So this lunar cycle from new moon Scorpio to new moon in Sagittarius is going to have something to say within Saturn. So I'm going to say within a positive aspect, that's a slowing down, looking at everything, considering the foundations, considering the deep depths of the foundation. So like, sometimes I think of Saturn as like the foundation of the house. So if we're looking at the foundation of the house through Saturn, maybe through the Scorpio new moon, we're looking at the foundation of the house as well as like the quality of the dirt that is right underneath it. So it's like we're digging one level deeper to start something new and to investigate something that we can move forward for. Then Saturday we have that big Mars-Pluto opposition that we've been talking about. 29 degrees Mars Cancer, 29 degrees Capricorn Pluto. This has been building up for the last couple weeks. We did mention it, obviously not last week, but the week before. And there is just intense movement overall with this aspect. Okay, this is one of the biggest aspects that we have of the year, probably one of the last big aspects that we have of the year, and it's going to come back around because we know that Mars is going to be going retrograde, starting in Leo, moving back over to Cancer. So this is one of those aspects that we're going to get 3 times. This is the first one, so this might be the one that kind of throws you off kilter a little bit, and then as it comes back through retrograde, things change a little bit, so then we go back forward the last time, and then that's the completion of it. Okay, so Saturday, Mars opposing Pluto, deep transformational action. Okay, things, there can be power struggles, yes, but there can also be a deep empowering of moving forward with things, an intensity of not holding back. So Mars at 29, Pluto at 29, the 29th degree, the last degree of every sign, gives some sort of connotation of things completing, okay? So there's things, even though we're going to have this aspect again, it's kind of like the start of the end for Mars, Pluto across the Cancer, Capricorn axis here. On the same day, Mercury is going to cross over that 29 degree place in Scorpio. So Mercury is going to be trining Mars and sextiling Pluto at the time that these 2 planets are coming into the exact opposition. So we have 3 planets at 29 degrees on Saturday, all interacting with each other. Mercury coming into contact to a positive contact with both of those planets is telling us that there's going to be some sort of mental expansion. There's going to be some sort of mental fortitude that comes along with this, and that is partially what makes me feel like there's going to be this empowering aspect that comes along with it. But, you know, with Mercury there and things expanding between Mars and Pluto, it could also be where things boil up really quickly in our head, and then there's some sort of confrontation that comes out of it. But awareness is part of the thing, because then, you know, when we're aware of the aspect that's out there, we're aware of that energy, and then when we see it kind of boiling up, it makes us a little easier to kind of step back, like, okay, there's the Mars and Pluto thing going on. I remember that was mentioned somewhere along the way, so I'm just going to step back because I know that there's a possibility of really, really intense energy, actions, communications, and all of those type of things. So there's some intensity coming by the end of this week. So where I said that like by week starts out slow and steady this week, then it really kind of like revs up throughout the week and then hits the gas by the end of the week here. So the intention this week, there is space for full expression. We have the starting from moving slow into progressing to things moving much, much quicker by the end of the week. You know, Mercury opposite Uranus and Mars opposite Pluto, both of those can be aspects that make things move really, really quickly. There can be some intensity, there can be some not holding back, there can be some reaching beyond where the space that we have been in. And all of this is happening at the later degrees, the like ending culmination degrees of these signs, while we simultaneously have a new moon going on. So there's this expression of things coming together, coming to a culmination and coming into an ending, while there is a new beginning going on at the same time. So space for full expression. We have things coming to a close, we have things coming to a beginning, we have things moving slow, we have things that are moving really, really quickly. Interesting to note that the full moon that will be in the sign of Taurus, remember I was talking about that expressing of the light, expressing of the dark, we have the new moon in Scorpio where we have the most solid darkness, and then we have the full moon in Taurus where we have the most solid light, okay? So it's interesting that if we look at the full moon is going to be conjoined Uranus. So throughout this lunar cycle, I'm wondering what is going to come to light. What is going to come to light that is going to allow us to break free from the darkness somehow? That does not mean that the darkness is bad or the darkness is something to escape. But what can we bring up from the depths within this week here that will allow us to have some sort of greater expression and some sort of wider perspective, view, ability to express, move forward, not feel so contained, not feel like we're trapped by the dark, but rather we're able to utilize that to move forward somehow. There is a wide expression this week, and I think knowing that the full moon in a couple weeks is going to have that Uranian flare to it tells us that if there is a feeling of being pinned, it's not going to last too long. Yes, so things are revving. Things are slowing down and revving up at the same time here this week. So that's where the intention of there is space for full expression is coming into play here from what I can see. So yeah, that's the astrology that we have going on this week, and it's a bit of a variety. It's a little bit of, I mean, there's some intensity, there is some narrow focus, and there's some broad focus, but I think noticing that there's space for full expression, I think that is helpful to know that it's a nice way to say that the energy is going to be kind of all over the place, while being able to utilize it positively. So that's the astrology cards for this week. So there's 2 of them. I don't know. I don't ever really know how many cards I'm going to pull until we start pulling, to be honest, guys. I'm just going to get my little notes out of the way for a minute. First card that came up was the Page of Pentacles. So when I was thinking about, you can't see him super well, but Page of Pentacles. When I was thinking about this week, I was thinking about the Hanged Man. And then the Page of Pentacles popped up. And I thought that was interesting because, the Page of Pentacles is telling us to go forward. He is excited. He is ready to move forward with different things. He is ready to move on to new ambitions, new exciting opportunities, like ready to go run into those doors that are opening. So the Page of Pentacles is telling me that there are new opportunities, new things that are coming about. And there's probably going to be lots of new opportunities, lots of new things. And, we have some things that are culminating this week. So the things that come out of these culminations are probably going to be closing doors and opening doors for some people. And there's going to be lots of progress that is made out of this new moon and in this lunar cycle that we have in the sign of Scorpio. So then when I was looking at that card and when I was contemplating the energies, I'm not trying to project anything or whatever, but I just thought, okay, is there anything that we need to do before we step forward into these new spaces? It doesn't feel like just run forward into something new, something different, with the enthusiasm and excitement of there's nothing else to do but run straight into this energy, which is what the Page of Pentacles means. It tells me it's a new level of excitement, new level of stepping into some sort of physical material things. What should we do before we step into these new things? And then that's where it showed up. Then I got the Hanged Man. And then I chuckled because I was thinking, the Hanged Man was pretty spot on for this week. And then it didn't show up, and then it did show up. So I thought that was really cool. So now these 2 cards together show me a full expression, show me stepping into something new, and that is often where the focus is like the new thing that we're going towards, right? Sometimes we forget about the things that we need to tie up loose ends on, or the things we need to focus on in order to move forward. So slowing down, taking the space, allowing the contemplative and meditative space of considering all the things before moving forward. I thought it was really interesting that the Page of Pentacles popped up, because then I was thinking that is what we focus on. We focus on the new thing, and we don't always focus on tying up the loose ends, at least myself. I just jump into the new thing without always finishing the first thing. So that might be at the forefront of our mind, especially with Venus in the sign of Sagittarius that just wants to go. But at the same time, she's coming to this aspect with Saturn here, like now, if you're watching this live, that's telling us slow down a little bit. The time to move is coming, but right now we need to slow down a little bit and make sure we're taking care of all of the things, and we're paying attention to all of the different parts. So that way we can move forward here with without any hesitation, and knowing that we've taken care of all the things so that way they don't pop back up at us this week. So yes, a variety of energy. There is some duality in this week of slowing down, moving forward. Maybe some people that'll make you feel a little bit stuck, like you're just kind of like, you know, like as soon as you start to go, then you start to hit the gas, and then you need to go, and then you need to hit the gas. Like it might feel a little bit limiting. It might feel like you're not really sure which way to go for some, but it's all part of paying attention to all of the things. I'm going to take a quick peek at the comments because I see people saying hi, and I did not look. Happy Samhain, Mary. Melissa, yeah, Saturday, ready for it. Yeah, so, you know, we have the election coming in, and I don't like to talk political on here whatsoever, but the Mars-Pluto opposition is interesting. There are lots of astrologers that talk about political things, and you can find lots of information about the how interesting. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But the Mars-Pluto opposition and yeah, election coming within this lunar cycle is interesting to say the least. So we will see what happens. Everybody, please pray for the United States as always. Pray for all of the places, but I live in the United States, and yeah, I just wish for the best for my country and any other country that there is. I'm not quite sure, so I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce your name, saying like hello and can I help you? So I've messaged, I know we were talking before I left for my retreat. I will send you a message this week. I'm not sure exactly what day, but I will reach back out. It's been really, really busy with the retreat and things going on. So yeah, that's what we have for this week. I think we're going to get into our meditation now. It's been a couple weeks and I'm looking forward to this. So going to leave the intention up here for 1 more minute for everybody to take a peek at, and then it's going to disappear for now. So there is space for full expression. There is space for full expression. There is space for things to begin. There is space for things to end. There is space for moving forward. There is space for slowing down and not moving quite so quickly. There is a wide variety. There is the Page of Pentacles, who is ready to bust forward and tackle his to-do list. There is the Hanged Man, who is suspended in the air and has to stay right where he is and has no choice but to be observant of his surroundings and take in all that there is around him. Absolutely absorb all of the things if he can relax enough to observe and take in all of the things. So I'm going to get rid of the intention here. I'm going to bring that down. Take a nice deep breath. 1 more because it feels good. Then we're going to get into our meditation. There is space for full expression. There is space for full expression. We have our intentional candle here as always. These are those lovely white sage oil infused candles that I get from the Stone Sanctuary on Etsy. I just like to put them out there because they are some of the best candles that I've come across. They burn for a long time. They smell wonderful. She has a variety of essential oils and they're lovely. So the white candle, and with the white sage oil in there, there is a purity and there is a cleansing that comes along with the candle to make a blank slate for this meditation, to allow us to clear the space so that way you can create whatever it is that you need to create within this meditation for yourself. So wherever you see the need for full expression, that's what we're focusing on this week. And this candle here, the white sage, allows us to clear the space so that way we can have clarity and understanding that comes through from the meditation. So I'm going to light the intentional candle, and as I do so, I'm going to say the intentional phrase out loud, and I encourage you to say it with me in any capacity that you are able to, whether that's out loud in your own head or writing it down. So there is space for full expression. Light our intentional candle. Flame ignites. As the flame ignites, it begins to grow. As the flame grows, so does our intention. There is space for full expression. There is space for full expression. Yes. So, we're going to come into our meditation nice and slow, of course, this week. Venus coming into contact with Saturn. We are going to find our balance. We are going to find our slow flow, but we are going to do it nice and slow. So you might notice that I am taking a couple shoulder circles here, just stretching a little bit to get into my body a little bit. So find a nice comfortable position. If I've been talking too long and you need to move a little bit, do whatever you need to do. Get up, move around, shake out your hands, shake out your shoulders, your neck, anything that you may need to do just to kind of fully release any stagnant energy that you may have, any soreness or any stiffness. And then if you are ready to do so, I invite you to go ahead and close your eyes. But if you're not quite ready to close your eyes, let's just relax the best that we can and soften our gaze. So perhaps you let your eyes just kind of fall slightly down gently, where maybe you look kind of just past your nose and you find a point in front of you that you can just softly gaze at, and maybe slowly your eyes start to close. As you start to relax and as your eyes start to close or start to ease their focus a little bit, we come into a space where we start to recognize our breath. As always, I think it's important for us to come into a space where we honor where we are coming from, honoring all of the events of the day, the events of the weekend, of the week, of the month, of the year, and of our life. So, before we start to change anything, let's take a moment to just notice the quality of our breath as we breathe in and out. Notice if your breath feels like it's slow, calm, and relaxed, or notice if it feels like it's rushed at all. Does it feel like you're taking in a nice, full, deep breath, filling your lungs fully? Or does it feel like there's some sort of shallowness and maybe you're not fully expanding your lungs completely? Again, we're not here to change anything. We're not here to pass any judgment on our breath. We're just taking stock and noticing where we are at this moment. Notice how the breath feels as it comes in and out. Recognizing and acknowledging that however your breath feels, however full and complete, or however it may feel like it's lacking, whatever has brought you to this space today, whatever you've experienced, all of that goes into the quality of your breath. So as you start to notice how your breath feels, you honor all of the events, all of the experiences that you've been through recently, all of that contributes to the quality of your breath. Once we've taken a moment to take stock in our breath, we slowly start to expand the inhales and the exhales. Taking this nice and slow, nice and easy. Our only goal here is to have each inhale be slightly deeper than the one before it, and each exhale to release slightly more air than the exhale that came before that one. So as you breathe in through either your nose or your mouth, feel that air come into your body, into your lungs. Slowly begin to fill your lungs as they inflate as you inhale. And as you exhale, that air starts to come back out. Next breath in, slow and steady. Air starts to enter your lungs, slow but surely. And the exhale. Continuing this process of breathing in and out at your own pace, allowing a little more air to come in with each inhale, a little more air to release with each exhale. As you continue breathing in and out, you may start to notice some of the changes within your body as you inhale and as you exhale. If you have not yet noticed those changes within your body, perhaps now that you've been prompted to, you start to notice how that air feels as it enters your body, as it cools your mouth, as it moves down your throat. Breath warms as it enters your lungs. As your lungs begin to expand, your diaphragm lowers, making space for the fully expanded lungs. Navel moves away from your spine, allowing you to fill fully and completely, breathing deeply into your belly compared to breathing into your chest in a shallower breath. And then as you take each exhale, you may start to notice that diaphragm coming back up, your navel moving back towards your spine. These subtle movements you may or may not feel viscerally, but just acknowledging that they are happening brings them into your awareness. Perhaps you notice if your shoulders are relaxed, or if they creep up towards your ears. As you continue this process of breathing in, breathing out, each round of inhales and exhales slightly more fulfilling than the one that came before it. We start to check in with our entire body, one little piece at a time. Let's start down with our feet. Our feet that tether us to this ground, that walks upon Mother Earth, that supports us and guides us so completely. Our feet that take us from place to place and allow us to stand in an upright, balanced position. Do your feet feel relaxed and calm? Perhaps you change your position to be able to notice your feet a little bit more. Let's pay attention to our toes. You have 5 toes on each side. Starting on the right side, focus on your toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perhaps you move your toes around a little bit to feel them. These toes bring different sensations, help with balance. Is there any soreness or tenderness within your toes? If so, feel free to massage them a little bit if that helps. Moving up towards the middle of your foot. towards the arch and towards the heel. Surfaces that keep us stable and grounded. Any stress or tension within your right foot. We acknowledge and we release through the breath. Almost automatically, our attention and our focus moves right over to the left foot. As we move our toes, we notice the movements and the feelings and the sensations within the toes on our left foot. Breathing in love into the 5 left toes. Moving down towards the ball, the arch and the heel of the foot. These 2 feet together, the left and the right, they take us everywhere that we need to go. They ground us into the earth. They ground us into our body and into our experiences. Notice if your feet feel stiff or limited. Are they sore? We often don't pay enough attention to our feet. Focus then moves up to our ankles. Perhaps you move your ankles around. Perhaps you just focus on them energetically. Is there any soreness, stiffness, or swelling within your ankles? Do they have full range of movement? Our ankles are important in our movement. They allow our feet to flex up and down as we walk. They allow us to change direction, change course. And they connect our feet to the rest of our body. Sending love to our feet and ankles. Tension slowly moves up to your lower leg, up towards your calf. Noticing any stress or tension within your lower legs. Often our lower legs get stiff. We don't stretch them as often as we should. Our lower legs are strong and stable. We stand on these legs that allow us to perform so many functions throughout the day. They are the grounding base for our body. Tension moving up slowly towards the knees. Often, knees are a place of discomfort. They are a place of great mobility and great importance within the body. They allow us to bend and maneuver into different positions. They are important in our walking and our movement, joints that allow us to participate in so many actions throughout the day. Our knees deserve lots of love and attention. So we send focus and love towards our knees as our attention moves up towards our upper legs. Your quadriceps and your hamstrings, your thighs. These upper legs connect your lower body to your upper body. Between the grounded parts of our body and the a little bit more participatory areas of our body. Often we forget about the lower body and focus more on our upper body. Sending love and attention to your legs. If there's any sore spots, perhaps you use your palm or your hand or your fingers to give a little extra love and attention to those areas. And as we send love and attention towards our upper legs, our attention moves towards our hips, towards our sit bones, towards your glutes, any soreness or stiffness here. This area of our body, when we sit in a meditation pose, connects us to the earth below. This area of our body contains the base of our spine, the spinal column that contains energy points up and down, connecting your entire body. Reproductive organs are within this region. Our ability to create and procreate comes from within this region. Our connections to life and creative sources around us. As we give love and attention to the areas around our hips, our pelvic region, our attention begins to move up towards your lower abdomen and your navel region. Your abdomen holds all of the visceral organs that are very, very important to the way our body functions. All of the body systems and functions of these internal organs allow your body to work properly, process properly. Our abdomen is a powerhouse of energy. The solar plexus lies in this region. A storehouse of energy, a supply of vitality. These internal organs emanate that energy by keeping our body going, keeping it functioning well, keeping it clean and processing. I invite you to take a nice deep breath and breathe love into your lower abdominal region, focusing on this area in the front, in your belly, in your back. It's your lower back. Notice any stress or tension that you have in these areas as our energy begins to move up towards your upper abdomen and up towards your chest, sending love towards your heart space. Often there is stress and tension held within the chest, but there can also be pride, love, admiration. When we stand with our chest high, we are proud and confident. When our shoulders lack and come forward and our chest lowers, often we are hiding, cowering, not showing our true self. So feel your heart and your chest shine forward, allowing positive energy to flow into this part of your body, your upper back, your chest, your upper abdomen. Feel the connection between your lower body and your upper body here. The heart chakra connects the lower and upper chakras. The upper chakras not being any better or any more developed than the lower, all just important, but just an expression of the realms that they reach within. Taking a nice deep breath, breathing love and attention into your heart space and into your chest as the focus moves up towards your shoulders and down both of your arms. As your focus comes down your shoulders, noticing any stress and tension, perhaps you feel inclined to move your shoulders. Take some small shoulder circles one direction and then the other. Perhaps you are noticing and experiencing your shoulders and your arms at the same time, and you take circles by extending your arms out wide in front of to either side of you, Feel free to take a peek if you would like, because I'm doing the same thing. And then you take small shoulder circles while aiming to keep your fingers still and slow. Perhaps you decide to stop and go the other way, getting a full expression of these shoulders, full range of motion, noticing any limitations you have within this movement. Energy and focus comes down your elbows, down your forearms, into your wrists. Perhaps intuitively your wrists begin to move as your attention goes into your hands and into your fingers. Your hands and your fingers, some of the most important tools that you have with you every single day, allowing you to use them, move forward, participate in activities, even just within this meditation, allowing you to put your fingers on these body parts that we are describing and talking about. Breathing love into your shoulders and your arms, all the way down to your fingertips. Sending love and attention to this area as our focus moves up towards our neck. Notice any stress or tension that you have within this area. Many of us have sore shoulders, necks for many different reasons. Perhaps you find some movement here as you slowly focus on your neck, the area where your throat chakra is, your vocal cords, your speaking ability. Breathe love and energy into this area as you focus on your throat. The front, the back, and then your attention slowly moves up towards your jaw, towards your mouth, and your cheeks, noticing any stress or tension. Are you holding any tension in your jaw, or is it relaxed? Your cheeks and your ears, what sensations do you notice there? Coming up towards your temples, around your eyes and your nose, eyebrows up to your forehead, all the way around your skull. How does your head feel? Does it feel light and airy? Does it feel heavy and dense? Do you have any sort of headache or tension? Just making space for noticing all of the little things within our body today. Now that you've taken a moment to focus on every little individual piece of your body, now our attention comes to our full physical being all together. There is space for full expression. That means we can focus on the small little individual pieces while focusing on the whole. That means we can slow down and make time and space to see all of the little details, to reserve our energy, while knowing that soon the time to move forward with this energy we are cultivating will be at hand. This week, as the sun is in Scorpio and the moon is moving closer and closer to the sun, losing its light, letting go and releasing, healing and feeling before the seeds are planted to begin a new cycle. The energy ramps up throughout the week. Take the time to prepare yourself and take care of the tasks at hand. Know that there is going to be a time to expand and to feel empowered. But at the moment, the hanged man says, wait. You are suspended in a place in between. There will be movement. There will be breakthrough. There will be progress. But for now, we wait until the prompt feels right. And when we take the space to wait, the space to slow down, the space to be quiet, I firmly believe that we will be better prepared to know when the time is to move forward and in what way. Thank you, all of you, for joining me. Thank you for sticking around for the whole meditation when it goes a little over an hour. I appreciate each and every one of you. I had something a little different planned for the meditation for tonight, but when the meditation started, the message was to move slowly, do not rush, focus the attention on the details. And that felt like focusing on our own selves in a certain way that maybe we haven't in a while. There's been lots of energies moving around. As always, things are coming and going for lots of different people. And I like to take this space to just slow down once in a while. So I think there's going to be a variety of slowing and moving forward for a lot of people this week. There is space for full expression. There are things coming to a culmination while there are things initiating. And just coming into the space from a Venus-Saturn perspective. So Venus and Saturn tells us that the harmony, the balance, what we desire is coming, but make sure you've taken care of all of the things first. Make sure you've done all of your homework. Make sure you have done all of your tasks and all of your chores so that way you can enjoy that empowerment that is coming. Happy new moon to all of you. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful, great week, and I appreciate you all more than you will know. So thank you. I hope you all have a wonderful and blessed night and a wonderful, amazing week that brings you more than you could ever imagine. So thank you. Reach out as always, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. So have a good night, and I will see you all again next week. Look for the intention on Saturday. If you want a reminder about the meditation for next week, go to Meditative Astrology Facebook page, find the Facebook event, and respond going interested or whatever it is that you want to do. Also, don't forget to share this meditation with those that you think may enjoy it or benefit from it. And liking, commenting, subscribing, following, all of that stuff is super helpful. So I appreciate any of the interaction that you are able to give. So have a good night, and thank you.